Price here along with my partner, Devin Blinds. Welcome to the broadcast, Devin.
Thank you, Rob.
Big match today against John Brown University. The Lions come into this contest at 10-6 on the season, 3-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, John Brown is just 7-13, Devin, 1-2 in conference play. Having a tough start to the season.
Yeah. This game we're looking forward to right now, it's going to be a struggle for the Lady Lions as we've played 3 other games this week. We're hoping, though, that we can pull ahead as John Brown has also played earlier in this week. The legs are going to be tired, but we're going to work ahead and go as hard as we can.
Let's go now down to our very own courtside reporter, Tyler Evans, who is standing by with head coach Hank Moore.
What lessons can you learn from these past 2 games?
We played 2 very good teams. Wiley College is an outstanding ball club. They're always difficult for us to match up with. But through that, our kids learned some lessons on getting quicker and getting stronger and reading. And then the Oklahoma Baptist number 10 team in the country, we realized we took a set from them and had a chance to take 2 other sets. We can play with anybody. So that was a good lesson for our kids.
Now, over the past 2 years, you have had some thrilling games against John Brown University, splitting the matches. What can we expect from the Golden Eagles today?
Golden Eagles probably one of the most balanced teams that we'll play. A lot of the teams we play against will have 2 dominant hitters or 3. They have 6 kids that they can go to. They're very balanced. They're a great ball club. They're coming off of a difficult week. One of their players' mothers passed away. So it's a tough week for them, but they're going to be ready to play. It's going to be a great match.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in tonight's game.
Thank you.
Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Tyler. Wow, it's a tough break to hear the passing of one of the mothers, players' mothers. So tough match here for John Brown. But let's take a look at the week, Devin. I mean, it's been a busy week for the Lady Lions. Look at Tuesday versus Wiley. They lost in a brutal 5-setter against Wiley College. And Thursday, back in action against Oklahoma Baptist, dropped that in 4 sets. And then last night, they did win in 3 sets, straight sets, right here in this court over St. Thomas. Will fatigue be a factor? This is their 4th match in 5 days.
Right. Well, as I said earlier, Rob, it's really easy for both teams to be tired right now. But even though volleyball is not like soccer or basketball where you're constantly running up and down the court, you still have to keep your explosive muscles going for all 5 sets. And especially for the Lady Lions, as they've been in 4-set and 5-set games, they're going to have a lot of picking up to do if they're going to make it through this match. And if John Brown can do the same thing, it'll be a good match for us to watch today.
Previous history against the Golden Eagles, who lost 3-1 in 2012, won 3-2 in a 5-setter. You played in a match in 2011 against John Brown University. Both were on the road in Arkansas. Overall, the Eagles lead this season series, or the record series, 3-1.
Well, I do know that playing at John Brown University, they have an extremely hyper crowd. So maybe since they're at our home court and we have our crowd, it'll be a little bit better for us, home court advantage.
Coach Hank Moore is loaded with some players this year. We're going to take a look at those players in just a minute after this commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching the SAGU Sports Network.
Number 2, Rivera, sophomore from Laredo, Texas Railroad High School, Emily Smith. Number 5, junior outside hitter from Arlington, Texas, Avila Christian High School, Jessica Sodik. Number 6, middle hitter, sophomore from Kenmore, Washington, Cedar Park Christian, J.J. Addick. Number 9, senior setter from Mansfield, Texas, Grace Prep High School, Taylor Caverly. Number 11, middle hitter from Lufkin, Texas, Lufkin High School, Cassie Cox. Number 14, middle hitter, freshman from Middle Lakeland, Texas, Middle Lakeland High School, Faith Harder. Number 16, junior defensive specialist from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Broken Arrow High School, Hannah Lewis. Head coach for your SAGU Lady Lions is Hansford Moore. Assistant coaches Jordan Briggs and Amanda Laney. Our officials are tonight up ref Todd Hall. Our down ref is Trey Kimbrough.
She from Siloam Springs, Arkansas, comes into this match at just 7-13 on the season, 1-2 in conference play. Meanwhile, the Lady Lions, as mentioned in the pregame, are playing their 4th match in 5 days. Lady Lions stand at 3-1 in conference. That's good for 3rd place behind Wayland Baptist and Oklahoma Baptist. And we are underway here in Waxahachie. And the first serve is not a good one. John Brown service side out for the Lions.
An important thing in volleyball is to make sure you always get serves in. It starts the momentum of the play, and if you miss that, then it's hard to pick back up.
Here's Briggs. Backset attempt to Cox. Into the net, side out, Golden Eagles. Easy serve handled by Sodich. Nice bid by the Golden Eagles. Reset for Lady Lions. Here comes Cox again. Rejected. That one's good. Nice deep kill shot for SAGU. So 1-0. There's the libero, Emily Smith. Sodich steps in. Calverley, one of the best setters in the NAIA, sets up Cox. He delivers again. Now, David, how come she doesn't go for the kill shot? What in her mind made her decide just to bump it over?
One thing that makes Cassie such an excellent player is that she can see the court even when she's up at the net. She looks at where all the players are on the other side, and that offense is able to allow her to get that middle shot right tipping the court.
Good front net play from Cox. Hannah Lewis getting some early playing time as well for Coach Moore. 4-0. Lines up top early from the left side. Here's Smith. And another one. What do you see early on defensively that John Brown's not executing here, Devin?
We need to get passes from them in order to get a play at the net. Their setters are scrambling all over. They can't get an offensive play right at the net, which is allowing Cassie to block everything. We're getting plays up for her so she can run a slide or a quick set to the middle, but John Brown's not doing that for them today.
A slide is when the setter sets a short little back sit behind her back, correct? And right. the hitter literally slides around the setter, comes from the backside. How does that throw off the defense?
We have blockers set on the defense at each 3 spots, and if they're going to the right side where they look the setter's going to go, she throws a slide, the middle's not going to be there, so we have a single block, which is much easier to get past than a double. And
another point there, and does the setter make that decision just a moment before she sets it, or is it already a predetermined she's going to do that?
She'll call a play right before. If she gets the pass that's appropriate for that set, then she can run it, but if not, she'll push it to the outside. Ideally, she'll run a slide when she calls it before a play.
And Cox again delivers for Southwestern. So there's a lot of communication happening, a lot of chatter while that ball's up in the air.
Volleyball is a constant game of communication.
6-0. Lady Lions jumping out in front against John Brown. And there's a stoppage of play in the court at the scores table. All right, we're ready to go here. Kirk puts it in play. Briggs. You'll see a lot of play from Mackenzie Criddle, the number 8. She's the freshman, a middle hitter. I confused her quite a bit last week with Cassie Cox, the tall and then the long blonde hair and very similar playing styles. We're glad to have her on the ball club this year.
Her ability to look at the court just like she did with that middle tip, just like Cassie did earlier in the game, shows a very mature player being able to look at what's going on in the court rather than just focusing on the ball right in front.
Let's take a look at some of the key players you see on the screen. Emily Smith, 4 digs per game, and as a team, SAGU ranks 8th in the NAIA.
And second, we have Jessica Sodich, number 5 for the Lady Lions. She's currently ranked number 12 in the nation, averaging 4 kills per game. And, Rob, she's been ranked the SAC Hitter of the Week back-to-back weeks.
That's exactly right. And then finally, you can't have this team without Taylor Calverley. 10 assists per game, ranks 21 in the nation. Just passed 4,000 assists in her career earlier in this, her senior season. She's also a good blocker. She does a really good job up front, assisting when needed be at the net. Is that a net violation?
I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't see.
Players to watch for the Golden Eagles, Devin. You want to start with Audrey Derian, right?
Sure, Audrey Derian, number 3 for the Golden Eagles, an outside hitter, currently leading the team in kills and aces. You just recently saw her serving on the back line. She's currently ranked 21 in the nation for serves and aces.
Shayna Daniels, she's the main setter. She leads the team in assists. She can attack too, and she's a precision server.
And the last player for the Golden Eagles, Stacy Williamson, number 12, one of the tri-captains for the Golden Eagles, leading the team in digs. For JBU, Nick Robinson, their SID, calls her the smartest player on the court for the Golden Eagles, making her the overall court leader.
(10-4) the score here. Nice up front blocking. I think that's Criddle. And Sodich, we'll call Sodich's name a lot today. She's a strong player. How about that play from, well, the ball is still active. It's an all-out war now. Who wants it most? When a point runs this long, what makes the difference in a point there? And as you see, it goes out of bounds off the block. What made the difference there is this must have been 15, 16 hits.
What you saw Criddle do second play was she pushed the ball deeper into the court. When you have a joust at the net like we had for so many plays, it gets a little tiring, so the players will start to push it back because everyone's sucked in on defense. But if you can push it back to the corners of the court, then you're able to score.
These Golden Eagles run a 6-2 scheme. Explain that. It involves 2 setters. How does a 6-2 work, and why is it so unusual?
A 6-2, you have 2 setters on the court at all times, and the ability for JBU to do this comes from the fact that they have 2 setters that they can confidently put on the court at all times. An advantage of this is that if a ball gets shanked by a player, then they have 2 people that can go for it, and they can definitely get a good setup for a play. It's so rare because we typically want to have 1 setter that can block at the front row and not allow that shot to be open for the opposing team's outside hitter. Taylor Calverley, for number 9 for the Lady Lions, is a great blocker, so we have her at a 5-1. But JBU has 2 setters that can block just as well.
And 11-5 is your score. The Lions looking to jump out 1-0 in this set. Number 1 here at the Schaefer Center. There's a nice open, good court awareness, good court vision from Sodich.
Here we go. That hit by Sodich went straight down the middle of the block. JBU was unable to close that, which is why that shot hit straight center of the court.
You see there, Sodich leads the team in kills, 27. Nice up front blocking, but the Golden Eagles keep this point alive. Here comes Sodich into the net, and it's going to be point out JBU.
An important strategy for Sodich to remember is in volleyball, you always need to be able to snap out of a mistake, and Sodich has always demonstrated a great ability to do that, which makes her such a great player.
Now, Devin, you played for Coach Moore for several seasons, and you saw teams from both our former conference, the Red River Conference, and now here in the SAGU Athletic Conference. Talk about the differences and the new challenges that you see for Southwestern this year.
I will say that the new conference, the SAGU Athletic Conference that we're currently in, provides a bigger challenge for us as far as team goes. But I think, honestly, it was harder for us when we were in a different conference with easier teams to play at a higher caliber, because when you're playing a team that's not as good, it's easy for you to shrink back. But now that we have so many good competitors in the SAC, I think we'll play at a whole nother level.
A lot of folks play to the level of their competition, and that's exactly what's probably going to play out this year as we are in our first season in the SAGU Athletic Conference. Easy serve, Calverley. back set. I think that was Abbott on the kill. Becca Dodd will take a seat, as well as Kirk. Sodich, center serve. Handled by Sodich. Strong play, found the open court. Sodich unable to pick that one up. Credit John Brown with patience and precision on that play, Devin.
They were able to see that Sodich was playing defense in the middle of the court rather than on that line. We had Calverley backing that line, but they saw the hole and went for it. A good thing about having number 5 on the back row is that if we get a pass that can't push to the front, Calverley's able to push it to number 5 on the back row and get a back row attack.
SAGU's 3 wins so far in the conference were against bottom-tier teams at this point in the season. So John Brown, however, is not historically that type of bottom-tier team. So really, it's a big test for the Lady Lions. They did drop that one match against Oklahoma Baptist earlier, but it's a good test to see if they can pull off a win against, you know, a really good, overall good team in John Brown. Historically, a strong program. Here's Brittany Briggs. Tip the net. And that's going to be Faith Harden, the freshman from Midlothian High School. Here's Cox. Now, what is that play called? It wasn't really a kill, I guess technically it was, but what do you describe that kind of a hit?
Well, there are 2 different kinds of tips. That was a tip, and it's a push deep to the corner because her hand's open and she didn't make hard contact with the ball.
It's called a tip.
Right.
And JBU returns the favor. A hole right in the middle of the court, just past the net. And don't look now, but the score is 15-10, now 15-11, and Eagles right back in this. Calverley bump set over to Briggs. And that was Libby Blassingame on the kill. Libby Blassingame, a sophomore from Plano, Texas, out of Liberty High School. Great hustle from Cox. She got the bump, got in position for the kill, took the set from Calverley and sent it home.
The ability for her to step back and pass that ball is really important as a middle blocker because it doesn't take you out of the count for passing a serve. So Cassie was able to react, pass the serve, and then get back and run the slide.
Not often you see a player get 2 hits in one exchange, but she's got the ability to do that and did it right there on that previous point. 15. Now, check that, 15-12. I was 16-12 your score. Love how Smith keeps her eyes down on the ball. You just keep her head. You watch her head stay right down through contact on those digs. How about that point from the Lions?
Something to watch for is SAGU runs a 5-1 with only Taylor as the setter. What we'll do if Taylor passes that first ball, it'll go to Emily Smith, number 2, our libero. She is the best setter besides Taylor on the court. So we'll always pass the ball to her as libero if Taylor makes first contact.
Gotcha. It looks like that was a
net violation.
Net
number
violation.
2.
(18-12) your score. Soft serve. Short set from Bain. The Golden Eagles deliver on that one. Kaylee Bain, nice set, a senior from Springdale, Arkansas.
That quick set, just like a slide, throws off the blockers, which allows the offense to hit that shot.
And there's a mistake from Briggs. How does that happen? I know we all make mistakes, but it seemed like a pretty simple serve. Did Briggs just had not her feet in position or her body in the right spot?
What probably happened is Briggs her feet weren't stopped. Number 17 for JBU is serving a floater serve, which means you have to have your feet stopped. If you move at all while you're passing the ball, it's going to shank like that because the ball has no spin.
Gotcha. Deep ball's good for the Lady Lions, and Cox We'll take a break. In comes Kirk. And also Hannah Lewis will take a seat. 2014. Lions inching closer to taking set number 1. We'll try to get a score to you if we can from the Wayland Baptist, Oklahoma Baptist match. They began a couple of hours ago I believe in Oklahoma Baptist. And again, both those teams are sitting at 3-0 in conference play. The Lions at 3-1. So the winner of that match will obviously retain first place. The loser could drop as low as 3rd if the Lions win this match, jumping to 4-1 on the season in conference play. Sodich goes up high, rejected, but she gets the ball, keeps it active. Tip in the front line from the Criddle. Will reset. Sodich from the middle. Criddle and Sodich both jumped up, but we knew all along it was going to be Sodich.
Sodich hit that off-speed play. They tricked the defense twice there because Criddle's coming up thinking she's going to hit, and then Sodich doesn't hammer the ball, hits it off speed so they can't get there.
This game is all about deception. That catch the line. It did catch the line. Lions give one up there. 21-16. Golden Eagles just kind of hanging around, Devin.
They're going to fight each and every point trying to get back. Their off-speed serves are going to have to catch them up here.
And there's a mistake by Smith. Again, feet not set. Now 21-17. And John Brown is a team to be reckoned with. Off to a tough start this year, but perennially a strong squad. Sodich goes up real high, handled by Young. What an outstanding play from Smith. Keep that ball alive. Sodich unable to capitalize, though. This ball sails just wide. But how about that hustle from Smith?
Emily was able to watch that play. Number 2, as the libero, is responsible for the most defensive plays on the court. She's able to stay on her toes and keep watch for off-speed or hard plays by the offense.
Good defense from the Golden Eagles, but there's a whistle.
A double play. Double play on the hands. A player attempts to set, but there's 2 contacts causing the ball to spin. That's how referees are able to see that double play if the ball has too much spin while it's in the air.
Becca Dollar puts the ball in play.
See, just there was a double contact. The player didn't have feet set, tries to push the ball. Double contact causes the ball to spin while it's going to the player.
Timeout on the court. Your score 23-18 in favor of the Lady Lions as they look to improve to 11-6 on the season. Make sure you check out all of our social media. Well, here's our standings first. Take a look at the standings here. You see, as we mentioned earlier, SAGU at 3-1, sitting in 3rd place, 10-6 overall. And those top 2 teams you see there, number 22 Wayland, number 12 Oklahoma Baptist, are squaring off today now. And we find that result, we'll let you know and pass it along to you. You see John Brown sitting in 6th place. They're a good team. Off to a rough start, 1-2. They'll improve over the years, so we need to get this win while we can against John Brown. Again, they hold the record series against us 3-1. And you see SAGU is at 2-1 at home this season under Coach Hank Moore.
John Brown really does have that crowd back home, that home court advantage where they can cheer on their players. But SAGU, since we're at home right now, we've got that advantage, so hopefully we can pull that out and use it against JBU today.
Back to action, Becca Dollar. Good setup play all the way around. Nice bump sets and a kill shot, and Lions unable to handle that. Becca Dollar dove for it. Nice set, perfect set there for the outside hitter.
It's hard to say if that was a good hit or if that was an error on our part. As a back row player, Becca Dollar is required to kind of read the block, and if she's outside the block, then she's able to get a set like that. But if she's just not in the right position, then the other player is able to hit past the block, and she won't be there to get that ball up.
24-19. Now we're at game point. Back set. What a dig by Smith. She is amazing. Digging those things out of the ground. The ball's still alive. Now search from the back row. Faith Harden. Calverley over to Cox. Yeah, send it home there. And set number 1 goes for the Lady Lions. Who else? Sodich to Cox.
Cassie was able to hit that cross-court shot right there, threw the defense off. She hit right in between their front row and back row player, which left nobody to cover. She hit past the block, was able to see and get right in between to hit the court.
Solid play from Coach Hank Moore's team here in the Schaefer Center. Make sure we take a look at upcoming games here. That's important. You see the games covered by SAGU Sports Live. Wayland Baptist will bring that to you October 5th at 11 a.m. Next home match, Texas Wesleyan on the 10th, 7 p.m. And then you'll see a few more games on the 18th, 22nd, and 29th, St. Gregory's, Oklahoma Baptist, and then Oklahoma City. All the home games brought to you right here on the SAGU Sports Network. Glad to bring it to you. Make sure you check out our social media as well. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. All kinds of ways to find out the action here. Stay connected. Also on YouTube videos and all that kind of fun way you youngsters keep up with stuff, I tell you.
We never get disconnected. Something to watch for in this next set, Rob, is Coach Moore always lets all of his players know that everyone is considered a setter on the court. While they still run a 5-1, he still expects every player to be able to step in and set the ball and keep it in play. That last play that we witnessed going back and forth with so many great defensive plays was able to keep going because of all the sets that different players were able to get up throughout the play.
And that's why players like you talk about, for example, Brittany Briggs, perfect example. She's listed as a defensive specialist, but we've seen her many a time get a crucial set to keep that point alive. You also look at folks like Abbott and Kirk. They can set them right there with consistency, although Calverley is by far the strongest. Point well taken. Hank has a well-rounded schooled team. Hannah Lewis will get the starting nod here in set number 2. As well as Faith Harden. We mentioned her before, a freshman from Midlothian High School. Hannah Lewis, a junior from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Briggs will get things started in the back row as the server. She's a senior, her senior year. She's from Maypearl, Texas, just up the road. See Taylor Calvary, she leads the team in assists, 558, 23rd in the NAIA in assists per game. We're gonna miss her setting next year. Hopefully we've got some young setters coming up to take her place.
I think what Coach Moore is working on right now is currently training up Caitlin Pascal to potentially take the place of Taylor Calverley. Pascal, number 3 for the Lady Lions, has an excellent set of hands and is currently working to be what you would call an understudy for Calverley.
She got a lot of playing time last year as a freshman. Have yet to see her in action today, but she will get some playing time. That went over Briggs' head, and point out Golden Eagles. They take an early 2-0 lead. Now explain for our viewers why volleyball players set up in certain positions before the point and then rotate. It's because they have to be technically on a certain side of somebody else? Because once the ball's in play, they scatter around and get their positions.
Right. Front row right here, what you see is Calverley is actually in left front, which is why she has to be pushed all the way back. But as soon as the ball is served, has to run to the setter spot. Each player is stacked according to how they won't overlap, because the other team can get a point if we were to overlap players.
And there's a strong point right there from Cox in the front line. Faith Harden will take a seat. Lady Lions warming up here. That's a strong right-handed kill shot from number 17, the senior from Garland, Texas, Aaron McElroy.
And that's just a great shot. Went over our block. There's not much we can do. Each of our players was in the defensive spot. It's just a great hit.
Right there, Briggs Keeps her eyes down low. Tip from Cox. Lady Eagles keep it alive and then sail it out of bounds. Talk about the court awareness on the back row, when to make that decision to let the ball go, or if you think it's going to hit the line. Is there some trick or some place you know in your mind to make that decision? Because sometimes they're a lot closer than that one was.
Well, typically, if you're at the top of the key of the basketball court, then you know if you're going to reach the ball with your hands, it's going to go flying out of bounds. But like I said earlier, volleyball is a game of constant communication. So it's really up to all the rest of the players on the team to let the player know if it's in or out. While you should stay aware of where you are on the court, it's also up to your teammates to let you know.
Now, right now, the Lady Lions aren't stacked. Why is that?
It just depends on where in rotation we are. Taylor Calverley has now moved over to the right front position, so she's able to stay rather than stack the hitters. And Jessica Sodich, all she needs to do is back up, and to pass that ball, she's actually in left front, but is passing while JBU serves the ball. And you'll see number 6, Abbott, comes in on the left front, but she's going to play middle. So she'll move around Jessica Sodich as Jessica goes to the outside.
Once the ball's in play, there we go. What an outstanding play from Melissa Kirk. That thing had some velocity, and she kept her feet still, but her arms were just in the right position. How does that happen?
Well, it's just a matter of how she falls to the ball. She's already ready before the ball's even hit. And what's funny is statistically, that'll count as a kill for Alyssa Kirk.
Wow. Take it any way you can here. And a rejection attempt, or succeeded off the kill attempt from number 8, Criddle. She got a good set, but JBU right there to send it back. Still early in the second set. 5-4 in favor of the Lady Eagles, and now it's going to be 6-4. As Emily pulls herself up off the floor. Emily Smith, just a sophomore from Red Oak, Texas, earned the starting position as a freshman as Coach Hank Moore's libero. Sodich, now you saw there was Criddle jumped up in the air as well. That's enough just to get the left side jumping early, right, to allow some room for Sodich to take it home? Right, and Sodich's shoulders were actually facing the opposite side of the court where she hit. If you saw her wrist turn sideways, allowing to even trick the defense even more, and she hit that shot right at the 10-foot line. Short set, handled. That goes into the crowd. And crowd don't count. They don't have the right jersey number on. So point out for the Golden Eagles, it's 7-4. So they maintain a slight cushion here, trying to even this up at 1 set apiece. Back row, Sodich. Back to Sodich. Free ball. Calverley. Looking for Harden. Harden delivers. Tipped off the, was that the front line defender? Yep, there was only one blocker right there in left front going against Harden, and she was able to hit off the outside hand of the defensive player, which caused the ball to go out of bounds. When you're going up for the kill shot, are you looking for an open space, or are you looking to actually deflect it off someone's hand? Typically, if you're hitting a ball against a double block, then you'll go against the outside hand. But if you're able to find a hole in between the block, then you'll go for that. But you really have to be looking for everything every single time you hit the ball. How about the angle of attack on that one? J.J. Abbott sends it home. Now down by just 2. And we've made a full rotation through this first set. So now you can see front row, you'll see each player being stacked just as they were before in the game. And that one sails wide. But I believe it was touched by a Lady Lions player, so it'll be 9-6. Here comes Audrey Deary, and we mentioned her in pregame. Puts the ball in play. Cox with authority. Cross-court winner, we might say in tennis. Great, great court vision to find that spot in the middle back row. Wide open, and Cox delivers once again. Score now 9-7. Here comes Smith. Nice front row defense. Tip. Calverley's going to set it up for Lewis. How about Cox?
A mistake by JBU right there on their block. Their bodies weren't pressed close enough to the net. If you're able to get up to the net, you need to penetrate the net, is what we call it. Make sure that your body is all the way square with the net. The reason the ball went in front of her, she wasn't penetrating the net hard enough, so the ball was able to sneak down in front.
But the hands can't cross over the net.
Right. And that's why blocking is such a matter of having a strong core to that blocker, because you have to be able to press and make sure that your hands are firm on the block.
And mistake by Briggs. Just too soft on that bump, trying to get the ball over to Calverley or Lewis, neither able to get there. 11-9. Coach Hank Moore on the sideline looks very docile right now. He seems very relaxed. Trouble right there. Goes off of Sodich. Out of bounds, 12-9.
What made it hard for Sodich to get that ball is it actually tipped Brittany Briggs' hands first off. She jumped up, tried to set the ball, and was unable to jump high enough to get it. So the ball was sailing behind, and Sodich tried to get it back in play, but was unable to get there fast enough.
Now, describe that play. That was like a fake, I'm going to slam it, and she just kind of softly, you know, just, I guess it was a tip, technically.
Right. Now, like you said earlier, volleyball is a game of deception, and so offense is always constantly trying to get the defense to think that they're doing one thing and come up with another.
Timeout on the court. 12-10 your score. JBU maintaining a 2 to 3 point lead throughout most of this second set. Here's a replay here. I think we're going to see the Cox. Boy, just at the very last second, she just pulled up and hit the brakes.
The ability to do that throws the defense completely off. Their blocks are already set. Their players are feet already planted on the other side of the court waiting for a hard hit to come, and then Cassie hits that off speed, and they're not able to get there in time.
You see Hank Moore exhorting his troops. Did the defenders on that play, or on any play for that matter, make that decision when the ball is at its apex, or when they see the hitter jump? Or at what point does the defense say, this is our defense, we're going to go with it?
Well, your eye should always be on the ball, but when the ball is in the air, you view where the ball is going to which player, and you see if she's running a slide, you can tell that she's going to hit it no matter what. Then you set your defense. We have set defense for each position on the court, so every time the ball goes there, you hit the same spot defensively.
The ball just sails wide, about 2-3 inches. And here comes the serve from Kirk. And a whistle before the kill attempt.
Double contact on the setter. We've seen that a lot from JBU. Their setter's unable to get their feet set in time, which means that they're pushing strictly with their hands, allowing for that double contact to happen.
Kirk, good deep serve. Tip, dig, save. Again, rejected from, I think that was Criddle. And again, Criddle and Sodich combined, and the Gold Eagles keep it alive. We'll play on here. Sodich keeps it alive, has to recover, unable to get it to a back row player. But how about that point? Both sides.
It's always important for an outside hitter to be able to back up. And in this replay, you'll see as the ball comes to Sodich right here, when the ball is set to her at the end of this play and she goes up for the kill and the block returns, you have to be able to step back and set the ball to keep it in play.
Count that as a point for Lady Lions as it goes off the Golden Eagles defensive setup. It's Criddle. like her play early on. We've broadcast several matches already. I really like the play from Hardin and Criddle. Really some fine additions for Lady Lions this year. Not a very good set. Right into the net, and Golden Eagles got lucky on that one.
That dig by Emily Smith, number 2, the libero, was up in the air, but there were no players in that left front position to be able to get there. Calverley hustled, which she does on every play, making her a great setter, but we just had nobody there in time.
Not a very tall set, handled. And I'm not sure what that was. It was a brick in her hand there. Tiffany Honeycutt, mental mistake, the sophomore from Texarkana, side out to the Lady Lions. Talk about the 4th match in 5 days. They're running around constantly, but they seem to have energy. This does not look like a team that's playing its 4th match in 5 days.
That's what makes the conditioning in every practice outside of a game like this, because it comes down to a moment when you've played 4 other games in the week and you have to keep going in that 5th set. That brings out which teams are really working their conditioning or not.
Sodich asking a question of the referee, and now Cowley working on the other referee. Planting some seeds, perhaps? As you see here in this replay. Nice double block there. And that serve's going to sail just out of bounds. Side out Lady Lions. And we are tied at 15 apiece. Now, say the Lions go on to win this set. They'll be up 2-0, but that does not mean a match is over. We saw Wiley come back from 2-0 on Tuesday. What does it take for a team, if JBU does fall down 2-0, how do you come back like Wiley did to win 3 straight sets against a team that is already dominating you up to that point?
It's really a two-sided thing. For the team that's up 2 sets, it's easy to get complacent and think you have it in the bag and not make an effort, which for the opposing team that's down 0-2, their momentum is to win. And so if they have that momentum and the winning team is just letting back, then it's easy for the momentum to switch sides and to go 3 sets in a row.
A lot like tennis, the same kind of deal. 3 out of 5. You've seen it happen before. Some top players just cannot hold on to a 2-set-to-love lead. So this match far from over, but looking good for the Lions as they've now captured the lead. Well, now we're 16-all. And now JBU takes the lead again, 17-16. Looking to pull this thing at 1 apiece. Here comes Kaylee Bain, the senior from Springdale, Arkansas. And now there's a mistake where Hardin and Cox both looked at each other and neither one made the decision to take it.
It was a little too late for them to make that call. The ball was clearly not going to Calverley on the right side of the court. And so that's just a communication error between Hardin and Cox.
And Coach Hank Moore wants to talk it over. He's going to call a timeout here at the Schaefer Center. Also in action today for SAGU Sports, football team playing against Texas Wesleyan, Texas Lutheran. Check that, Texas Lutheran. On the road today. We'll have all the scores and updates for you on SAGU Sports Network, SAGU.TV. We'll have the replay of this volleyball game in a couple days. As you see, coming up October 5th, 11 a.m., right here on SAGU.TV, the Wayland Pioneers will be in town to face the Lady Lions. And then TW, Texas Wesleyan, comes in October 10th. Coach Stacy Johnson in his 4th season. He's 58-43 through his first 3 campaigns, John Brown. And we're lucky to have former John Brown coach on our coaching staff now, Coach Donnie Bostwick, men's basketball coach. Spent several years at John Brown. I believe he won a national title with the men's basketball team while he was in Arkansas. We are blessed to have him on our side now. Point out Lady Lions. It's a tight set here. Set number 2, going up high and delivering. Audrey Deard must have been 2 feet off the ground and sent it home. So wide gap there. Is that just a defensive lapse, or they just read the defense well?
It seems to me that the block was set a little too far outside because that block went on the inside, and which was why it was able to go so close to the 10-foot line there. That may have been an error on the outside hitter setting that block.
Nice front court play right there, front net play from Hardin and Cox, blocking that one back on the JBU side. But to point out, it did sail out of bounds, so Lady Lions don't come away with that point. But that's a nice play right there on that tip to the back right corner.
The defense there probably was expecting Cox to set up another play, but she was able to just push the ball off speed and way deep into the court where the defense was sucked in.
That push gives the Lady Lions 2017 as they climb closer. High ball. Cox, this time she sends it home her normal way with authority.
Now the beauty of that play, Emily Smith was able to get that dig perfectly to the set. Calverley set the ball, quick set to Cox, and she put it away.
That one's going to split Sodich and Smith. There's too much velocity there on that one.
We had a single block up on that play, too. Cox wasn't there blocking with Lewis on the outside, and so we didn't have defense there in place to read that block.
Briggs. Short set to Cox. Point out, Lady Lions. Here comes Criddle and Kirk back in the ball game. Lewis and Cox will take a brief seat on the floor. 21-19. Now Lions just hanging around, looking to tie this thing up. In the second set, Kirk, deep serve, back set, slide. Rejected by the Lady Lions, will play on. That's going to sail way out of bounds, and now Lions are within 1.
Each mistake here in these last 5-6 points of the game are more crucial than in the beginning. It's a race to 25 from this point, so each mistake can be detrimental to a team. (22-19) your score. Number 15 for JBU on that play was able to hit on the outside of the block.
We're actually getting 2 different scoreboards with 2 different scores in the gym, so we'll try to get the correct score to you, but never seen that before where the left scoreboard's different than the right scoreboard, but looks like it is 22-21 in favor of JBU. Calverley, setter, puts it in play. JBU now on their heels. Nearly a net violation. Sodich, block out of bounds. That means a point out for the Lady Lions. And we're tied up, 22-22 in set number 2. As the Lions look to take a 2-0 lead. Deuces Wild here at the Schaefer Center at a timeout on the floor, and Coach Hank Moore passes out the high fives. He is happy with what he's seeing.
That last play, JBU is scrambling to try and get back in spot. And we've got SAGU ready to take that play, which Sodich puts the ball away on that kill. JBU is struggling to get that because of that tight set, the close net violation. They weren't in play. They weren't in place ready to hit that.
So what's Coach Hank Moore telling his team right now? They fought back, they climbed back to tie this up. Any change of strategy here as we're in the end game stages of set number 2?
Making a change at the end of a game is pretty risky, so Coach Moore is most likely telling his team to keep fighting each point like it's the last one. There's really, it's up in the air for either team to take it at this point. Consistency is key at this point in the game.
Calverley puts the ball in play. Smith right there. Calverley, who wants it? Sodich wants it. Eagles right on top of it. Kirk sends it over right near the net and waiting to smash it home is Aaron McElroy. Not a bad play from Kirk, but just a little too strong because the velocity, I think, coming in from the kill shot, she just couldn't back up enough.
The way to fix that would be for Kirk to get under the ball just a little more so the ball sends up into the air rather than forward, giving the other team a perfect set to hit it down the throat.
It's going to be a free ball because Smith didn't quite get a good bump on that one. So here come the Eagles. Cross-court set. Too far for Kirk. 23-23, I believe, is the score. And another timeout on the floor. I believe it's 23-22. It is 24-22. Again, sorry for the conflicting scores. We're going to try to keep that updated for you. But now the Golden Eagles now just 1 point away from tying this whole thing up. Look for Darian or Daniels. Daniels the setter.
In this replay right here, we've got that off-speed hit, that tip by number 3. Calverley is at the 10-foot line, unable to really judge if it's in or out of bounds.
And that was Darian, number 3, the sophomore from Frisco, Texas, delivering for her Golden Eagles. She's from Legacy Christian High School. 6-footer, outside hitter. Game point. Williamson puts the ball in play. It's going to be near the net. Nice save by Smith. Bump set to Sodic. And that sails in the back wall. And we're going to go to 24-23. Got to win by 2.
Here we are at this end point of the game. It's really not over yet.
Look at that.
Replay. We've got number 3, Darian, who just scored on us in the last play, unable to dig that ball up to the setter. Now Sodic was going for that open spot down the line, and roll shot just out of bounds.
So the players will switch sides as we've reached the end of set number 2. 1 apiece here at the Schaefer Center. Coach Hank Moore will talk things over with his troops. Looking to keep pace with Oklahoma Baptist and/or Oklahoma and Wayland Baptist. What are some differences that you saw in the play between set 1 and set 2 for the Lions? They didn't play bad in the second set, but they just seemed to be a little bit off, or was it just credit John Brown for improving their play?
John Brown did pick up their ability to get a pass to the setter, which allows them to run a harder offense. But I think that SAGU throughout the first and second set were pretty consistent on their passes and running quick plays to offset the defense. But they seemed to make more errors in that second set, which allowed JBU to have a little bit ahead on them.
Let's take you down now to our field reporter, Tyler Evans, who's standing by in the crowd. Tyler, what do you got?
Thanks, guys. Here I am with Carrie Abbott, mother of JJ Abbott, one of the volleyball players here. Now, Carrie, you told me that this is your second time ever coming to one of these games, watching your daughter play. What makes this game special?
Well, this is the second year that she's played. We live in Seattle, so we come at least once a year to watch a series of games. We went to Oklahoma. Was it yesterday? Seems like a long time ago now. And then watched last night and watching this game today. So the reason we're here is to see JJ at least once in her season. And also it's my husband's birthday, and he said for his birthday this year he wanted to be able to come see her during this series of games.
Now, what is the best part about watching your daughter play here live?
Well, we always watch on TV if we can't be here. Live is just so much better. But we're big sports fans. We're big fans of SAGU, big fans of our daughter, of course. She's the youngest of our 5 kids. And so we don't want to miss any of her experience here at the school.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Back to you, Rob.
And we've had Carrie Abbott on our campus several times here, a wonderful speaker on relationships. And she's got a great website and resources, and encourage you to Google her name, Carrie Abbott. Find out more information about her ministry and her offerings to help people live happy, healthy families and marriages. And we're blessed to have her daughter on our ball club. Kenmore, Washington. She's at a Cedar Park Christian High School. Just a sophomore. Surprised we've not seen Caitlin Pascal. She might have an injury. So the upcoming football game will be Langston Lions versus the SAGU Lions, a battle of two cats, October 12th, right here at SAGU.TV, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to tune in for that one. If you can't come to the ball game at the Waxahachie High School football stadium. And the first point out is tipped off the Golden Eagles defense, and it'll be point out, side out, Lady Lions. Briggs sails the ball into play. Kind of a push set, but Eagles able to get it over. Short set might be deep. It is deep, just barely, about 3-4 inches. That wasn't one where they let it go out. It was going to be in or out. No one could get to that one.
Right. If that would have been a couple inches shorter, there would have been no way for us to get to that, but we took the luck of the draw on that one.
High set, powerful, and they're going to say it hit the ground?
It did. She didn't get there quite in time. She was low, but a little too far back to get that ball before it made contact with the court.
Audrey Durian will put things in play from the right side. Near the net, sails over.
Durian is serving right at the tape, which causes the serves to go down towards the court, which in Sodich's case is making her make contact with the ball lower, which is why it hit the court that first play.
And Sodich delivered on that powerful kill from the back row to the back row on that last point. Back set slide to Cox, rejected, but sails out of bounds. Point out, Lady Lions. How many times have we seen that over their careers? Calverley setting up Cox. It seems like more than half the times they prefer that back set slide. Cox slow to get up on that play. The libero will take a seat for the Golden Eagles. Boy, Cox just jumped right up with that ball. Didn't waste any time, did she?
No, she didn't. And that defensive player, I believe it was Durian, hitting that outside line, threw one arm out, unsure of if the ball was in or out of bounds, which to our advantage here in the replay, we'll see this play by Cox. Oh, not Durian, number 2 for JBU, sticking one arm out, unsure of where it was on the court.
Push, recovered. Might be a free ball, it will be. Eagles with an advantage here. Great defense by Kirk.
Communication error, JBU on that slide set.
Yeah, the slider didn't slide and thought someone else was coming behind her, and that was a nice save out there at the far end, just a bump save. But it kind of threw everything off, and Lady Lions able to come away with that point. 6-2 your score. Kirk's a good server, keeps right near the net. Back set.
We caught Smith, number 2, our libero, on her heels in that play right there. She was in position, but all the weight was on her heels. She was unable to jump forward for that quick hit right there.
Is there anything the libero is not allowed to do in the game versus any other play? I know in soccer, you can touch it with your hands, the goalie, but is the libero confined to do just certain things in the court?
The main rule with the libero is if she sets the ball on the front row in front of the 10-foot line, then that player she sets to isn't allowed to jump. She can still hit the ball, but if the libero sets in front of the 10-foot line, then the front row can't jump.
Is that strictly enforced?
Yes. Well, if the referees are able to catch it, really falls on how aware they are of what's going on.
What a great save by Smith, and it's going to be a free ball, but just to keep that point alive, it's outstanding. The left-handed kill attempt from Tiffany Honeycutt sails wide, or sails long. Point for the Lady Lions. Now you see the Lady Lions are stacking up here, right?
Right. Sodich is going to move to the outside, and Abbott's going to be on the right, and Criddle in the middle.
8-4 in favor of SAGU. Looking to jump back out to a 1-set lead. Sodich sails wide. Do they time the velocity of these things? I know in baseball you can time your fastball. That ball flies off her hands.
I'm not sure that they do that. What we typically measure is a vertical to see how high the hitter can get off the ground.
Well, Sodich got up on that one. A little revenge factor there. There's a smile on her face as she smiles at Calverley. Atone for her earlier mistake. 9-5. Now Becca Dollar will put the ball in play. Out of Brock High School, senior. Getting lots of playing time today for Coach Moore. And just waiting for the ball up in the air, hanging up in the air is Audrey Deary, and you can see why she's one of Coach Johnson's top 3 players. Last year, the Golden Eagles finished 7-12. Or check that, 22-16. But only 3-9 in conference play. Nine 6 in favor of the Lions. It could be short but good. It's going to sail off a defender's hands, and no chance for the backward to pick that up, huh?
JBU seems to have a new gained confidence in this match. Their hitters seem to be going up with more confidence and hitting the ball harder than they did in the first 2 sets.
And finding open spots, too. They're getting a lot more just straight kill shots where there's open holes in the Lions' defense. And now what happened right there? Sodich looked like she was going to fake it and then actually turned her head towards Faith.
Miscommunication, I would assume, between Sodich and Hardin. Sodich was jumping up in the air ready to hit, and the ball accidentally made contact with her. She jumped too high for that fake out play.
Timeout on the floor. We are knotted up. 1-1 in sets. 1-1 in points in set number 3. And be sure to tune in to SAGU.TV for our next soccer match. It'll be the same John Brown Golden Eagles facing the Lions October 24th, 2 and 4 p.m., 2 o'clock. The ladies will kick off at 4 p.m. The men will take center stage. Watch all the soccer action here on SAGU.TV here on the SAGU Sports Network. Run by our outstanding student crew, led by our executive producer, John Cookman. Does things right for you, bringing all you the high-definition images on your computer. The only, as we believe, the only NAIA school offering high-definition internet sports broadcasting in the nation. Why does that play work? It just happens so fast and quick to just catch JBU off guard?
That quick speed, even by Smith on the pass and the serve. Quick set to Calverley. She was able to run that quick set behind her, and the defense had no time to set up. If the middle hitter can time that quick set perfectly, there's really no way to defend against it.
Lions back out in front. That left hand of Tiffany Honeycutt works again. Knowing that most players are right-handed, does that make any difference at all to the defenders and blockers, knowing that an outside hitter is left-handed, or does it even really matter?
It changes how you set the block, and really it's hardest when a right front player is left-handed because they can dump the ball on second contact.
Now, it was whistled out of bounds, but apparently now there's a discussion with Hank Moore wondering, the ball was ruled out of bounds by the flagger in the corner, but they're saying side out to the Golden Eagles.
Right, I think what happened with this on our side, the SAGU Lions, with their line judge, I think she called it unable to see the play. So now Calverley's in charge of talking up with the refs, trying to see if we can get it changed around. But it looks like JBU still has the ball.
And they retake the lead 11-10.
Great save by Cox.
Great save. Can they finish it off? Right in the breadbasket of Smith. Will have to give a free ball back over to JBU. Nearly a push right there. Double contact, and it's going to sail out of bounds. But I believe it hit a defender on the SAGU side of the court.
It's a net violation on number 9, Taylor Calverley.
Okay.
It's so important to stay out of the net when you have high momentum plays like that. SAGU should have had the ball, but a simple mistake can turn that around.
And another mistake right there is that bump just sailed softly over the net, and the front line able just to slam it home. An easy point really for JBU, and Sotos will take a quick seat into the ball game. Is number 18, our first time we're seeing Courtney Tabolka, a former teammate of Faith Harden and Caitlin Pascal. All three played at Midlothian High School. Boy, they just seem more live on the court. A lot better footwork, JBU, right now than SAGU. And they have a 2-point lead here in the third set. Like you said, they're playing better, they're more active, and they're making better decisions. And they're just looking to steal the lead here, to take a 2-1 lead. That tip didn't make it over the net. Harden over to Cox. Into the net. Side out JBU. A lot of touches on that play, Devin.
It's important here for our front row to be in extremely good shape, back to the conditioning importance of volleyball, because they're constantly running up and down the net.
Good defense from the Eagles. Now they're really playing well in all phases of the game. Now here comes the defense from Calverley to Cox. Cox unable to send it over. Goes into the net, and Coach Hank Moore wants to talk it over, as his Lady Lions now are down in this match in the third set, 15-11. And the whole tenor of this match is shifting. Now JBU is looking like the team that wants to win it. Maybe a bit more. I know both teams want to win, but JBU actually playing better point by point right now than you were maybe halfway through the first set.
Volleyball being a game of momentum, because JBU won set number 2. They're higher on momentum than SAGU. And now SAGU's struggling to turn that back around, and this will be a defining moment in this set if they can switch their mindset from these errors that they've made and the momentum on JBU's side to steal it back and take this next set.
So the players will take the court again, as we are well into conference play here in the season. This is the 5th game now for the Lady Lions, going through the rotation of all the teams. There's 9 teams in the conference. That one was really close, but it was called out by the line judge, the flag judge. Did that hit the line? Can we get the eagle eye, take another look at that? That may have been in bounds.
I saw it out of bounds.
Harden. Kill shot.
That
blockers into the net.
Seemed to be a common error on both sides of the net, with the blockers not penetrating, the ball going in front of them. It's been a common occurrence this game.
But if you go too close, you get to have a net violation, right? So it's a really tight window there. Handled in the back row. That's Tabolka. And is that a double hit?
Yep, double contact. Easy turnaround for the ball to go back to JBU.
Cox winds and fires, but it's rejected. Tabolka tried to save it, unable to do so. Coach Hank Moore on his feet, clapping, exhorting his troops to hang in there. Now they're falling down by 6, 18-12. Tabolka to Cox, over to Lewis. Dig and a free ball. Back set. Cox winds, tips. No one there. Big play from Cox. Again, that decision in midair to change her mind looked like.
Right, and she goes to the center of the court, which is typically where the middle hitter can go. Now, hopefully, as Kirk goes back to serve, SAGU will take the advantage of that play and take momentum to get back ahead in this set.
Kirk from the right side sends it deep. Short set. And sending it home, I believe that was Molly Pugh. It was a freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas, out of Little Rock Christian. 5'11" freshman. Gives JBU a 19-13 lead. And they have all the momentum right now. Lady Lions looking for answers. They look to Sodich. Golden Eagles keep it alive, and that's going to go off of Criddle's hands out of bounds, and now it's 20-13.
The timing of that block was a little off by Criddle. She jumped a little too early, which is why the ball came down behind her after making contact with the block.
Sodich kept alive by JBU. Free ball. And a wet whistle, and it's a net violation. I didn't see it happen, but it happened right there in the middle of the net, it appeared. I'm not sure who the player was. And that's just kind of a cheap point, but we'll take it.
Right. I believe that net violation was number 1, Tiffany Honeycutt for JBU.
Short set over, double block rejection. That's Criddle now. Lady Lions the 2 in a row. So they'll switch out balls, and Calverley, the setter, will put the ball in play from the right side. She's a good server. You're gonna miss her next year. She sets to the libero, back set to Sodich. Nice arch on that one, but we'll keep it alive here and reset. And I think that was Abbott, unable to pull that out of the ground. Criddle sent it to her in an awkward position, looked like.
It's a communication error. Calverley was standing right there, which technically second contact is belongs to her, but that communication error caused Abbott to let the ball hit the ground.
Sodich, the little tip-teak, cross court. What do you call that exactly? I'm not sure, like, is it a kill technically, or is there a term you call that?
It goes down in the books as a kill. It's just a tip.
It's a tip.
Right.
21-16. Lady Lions just trying to stay alive here. Dollar, the senior, back set over to Honeycutt. Soch will give it a shot. She may try it again. Little softer version, but Golden Eagles keep it alive. Flag goes down, it's good, hit the left edge.
And the speed on that ball, there's nothing really our defense can do as long as everybody's in position and the block is set. The speed of that kill makes it hard to get up. Credit
JBU, playing strong, trying to take a 2-1 lead here. Sodich right down the middle. No answer on that one. Cox will slip back in for Alyssa Kirk. And it's all hands on deck now. As Coach Hank Moore does not want to fall down 2-1 on his home floor. That play from the right side has been working all day with Honeycutt, the recipient of some really nice sets.
If you can find, as an offense, if you can find one spot that's been weak throughout the whole set, the ability to keep running that set, if your hitter can be consistent, allows you to get more points each play.
JB will stack the middle and release. Calverley to Kirk, or to Abbott, and Abbott gets the job done, and with her mom from Washington watching in the stands, gets high fives from the crew on the bench. It's 23-18. Briggs, soft, easy serve. A chance for the Golden Eagles to send it home, and they do. And we're now reached game point in set number 3. And who would have thunk after halfway through the first set that JBU might be taking a 2-1 lead? I sure didn't. Jump serve to Bolka. Sends it deep. Here's that right side again. And it's good, and just like that, the Golden Eagles have won 2 straight sets and take a 2-set-to-1 lead. Now, where's the mindset switch if you're the Lady Lions? You had a 1-0 lead, now you're down 2-1. You've been in these matches where you were up 1 and now down 1. No more room for mistakes. What do you do to regroup?
Well, the goal in a volleyball match is to never get to that 5th set, because only going to 15 makes it even harder to battle team against team. But what really needs to happen here is SAGU needs to just shake all 3 sets off, even that first set, because really each time the scoreboard hits 0-0, it's a chance for both teams to take it either way. And now that JBU has more momentum off of winning 2 sets to SAGU's first win, it's really up to SAGU, the Lady Lions, to take the lead here, and no errors will allow that momentum to shift.
Well, let's take it back now courtside to Tyler Evans when she's in the crowd again. Who do you have, Tyler?
Thanks, guys. Here I am with Matt Gutierrez, one of SAGU's very own dorm pastors. Now, Matt, why don't you tell us which dorm you specifically oversee?
Definitely. We're in Savell Hall.
Now, I've heard that dorm houses mainly athletes. Is that true?
Yes, it is. We have quite a bit of athletes in our dorm.
Now, what is it like being a dorm pastor to so many athletes?
Oh, it's an amazing opportunity to be able to pastor these guys, talk with them, hang out with them, hear their dreams, aspirations, and things that they're going to do for the kingdom of God. Past SAGU is just amazing, and what they do here on the campus, just providing leadership to the student body. And showing that everything they do on and off the court is for the glory of God. It's really cool to see students here that are really giving it all for their sport, but at the same time are showing that they love Jesus just as much as everybody else.
Now, are there any specific shout-outs you'd like to give?
Definitely to my wife, Ursula Gutierrez, who's right next to me, kind of, and to my parents who are at home in San Antonio. So, hey, Mom and Dad.
Thank you so much, Matt. Back to you, Rob.
We love the Gutierrez's here in the SAGU campus. She teaches drama and theater courses, and Matt does a great job as well. They both are dorm pastors on the campus. Loved by many students here at Southwestern. So we've reached set number 4 here at the Schaefer Center, and Vita told me it was going to be 2-1 JBU. I would probably not have believed you after about the first 15 minutes of play was all Southwestern. Like you said, maybe let up off the gas a little bit after the first set. You know, they saw the JBU struggling. They're 7-13 on the year. They're 1-2 in conference. We're at home. And we mentioned in pregame, this is a good team. You cannot let up on JBU.
Right, and if you let up even in the slightest bit, JBU, it just so happened in this set, SAGU may have let up just a little bit, and just at the same time, JBU came in and started playing much better offense.
So Brittany Briggs will put it back into play for the Lions. Good defense on both sides. A lot of net play here. Who wants it? JBU found the spot in the near side. Smith gave chase. Unable to dig it out. 1-0 JBU. Here comes Darian. She's had a great match. Calverley over to Cox, into the net. Lady Golden Eagles, and there's a whistle.
Net violation. I believe that would go for number 17 for JBU.
It's McElroy. Credit the nice bump right there. You know, you look at the kill, nice set, but that bump from Audrey Darian set that whole play up. Perfect bump right to the setter.
Our defense was unable to get in position in time, that quick set to the middle hitter.
Big right hand of Stacy Williamson catching the Lady Lions off guard. Strong, powerful kill shot from the senior from Siloam Springs, Arkansas, right out of John Brown University's hometown. Stacy's a senior, 5'10". And that shot from Lewis, she's asking for a tip. It did sail wide, but she thought it was tipped. Here's a replay. Looks like Deerian pulled back just at the last second. So point out, JBU. Now there's a example where Taylor was caught too close to the net. Couldn't really put a good set on it. Just had to tip it over herself.
Now Cox is a little frustrated there. She made a great effort to get that play up, and the error on the other teammates, but nobody else was watching, so she was left alone with that excellent up, and no other teammate was able to get the ball off the floor.
Timeout called. JBU leading 5-1, and momentum still continues on the side of the Golden Eagles. Now here you see a Sooner Athletic Conference update. There it is, folks. Oklahoma Baptist in 4 sets beats Wayland Baptist, so Oklahoma will take a 4-0 conference first place lead. Wayland Baptist will drop to 3-1. So if SAGU can climb back and win this match, they will skip over Wayland Baptist for technically second place in the conference. So Oklahoma Baptist ranked number 12 in the nation, Wayland number 22. And that was another example of no one going after that set attempt off the pass.
And most times you can recover from that by simply sending an easy shot over, but some scenarios like that we're unable to get the ball in play.
Much better here. Sodish to Cowley to Cox. JBU keeps it alive. It's going to be a net violation. No, it's double contact right near the net.
And what you'll notice here is we're struggling to get points on the board for the Lady Lions. We'll typically go to Cox, our strongest hitter on the front row. When we're struggling, Taylor will continue setting those strongest hitters.
Free ball. And it finds just inside the line. The ball lands in play. 8-1 JBU. Commanding lead now. What's the furthest behind a set that you've ever been involved in where the team you're playing on was able to come back? Here we see we're down 7 early. It's not over, but what's the greatest comeback you've been a part of in a set, a single set?
Well, I can recall several times I've been in sets where we've been down 12-4 and really thinking they're tripling our score. There's no way to turn it around, but each point scored every single time can really turn it around no matter where you are on the scoreboard.
The get went back right here. You see the replay, finding the weak spot right in the middle of the court. Strong serve from Kirk. It looked like a good dig, but I guess they whistled it. It hit the ground.
The ball hit the ground before it even made contact with Kirk. Number 7, she had an excellent dig, but misjudged how fast the ball was coming down.
9-2. Almost a double contact. That ball sails out of bounds. Calverley doing some blocking duties.
JBU really has gelled together for these last 3 sets, and they seem to be running every single play in the book.
I believe that was Melissa Bake on that play from Bentonville, Arkansas. And Tiffany Honeycutt, the left-hander from the right side. You mentioned that's a strength for lefty to be in the right side. She sends it home for the lady, or the Golden Eagles. 11-2, and SAGU clearly frustrated right now. And that one sails out of bounds. And the body language, now another timeout on the court. The body language is not strong at all for the Lady Lions. They managed just 2 points out of the first 14 played in set number 4, and things are not looking good. Now you're down by 10. Your coach, Hank Moore, I mean, at what point do you have to get beyond girls hang in there? You've got to do something different at this point. Something's not working. Do you put in new players?
Well, now what's happening to the Lady Lions is it's all mental. They've gotten down so far in this set that they can't turn it around simply by their skill on the court. They have to make a mental decision that they're not going to make errors, and they have to focus even more so on that now that they're down 3-12 than they did in the first 2 sets.
Here you see the replay on that last point. The lefty,
And you
Honeycutt.
see both defensive players just turning and looking rather than making an effort for the ball, when really Sodich on the block right there, they could have been judging that block.
As the first point's underway here again after timeout, Lions come away with it. It's the ball set out of bounds on a net battle. And Calverley's now set to serve, number 9, in the foreground of your screen.
You
Over
see
to libero.
Calverley digging that set to number 2. Double contact.
And we'll take some cheap points if you're the Lady Lions. It's 2 in a row now, 12-4. Mark that down. It was 12-2 at the timeout when Coach Hank Moore stopped the action. We'll see if that could have been a turning point here as this match progresses along in the 4th set. Nice hit from Stacy, or Melissa Bake. That was going to be inbounds anyway, so Kirk had no choice. She had to go for it. Becca Young now from Mount Vernon, Iowa, puts the ball in play. Free ball from Sodich. With anger in that shot, Audrey Derian from the left side finds a hole in the defense again, and now 14-4.
It's equally as important as a defensive player, just like when you're passing a serve, having your feet stopped. Running defense is the same way. Make sure you have your feet stopped and your arms are in position to get the ball up.
Sodich sends it wide. Here comes Derian again. Kirk unable to get her hands underneath that ball, the wrong angle, and no chance for Sodich to track that one down in the stands.
Squaring your hips up with the ball when taking a dig like that is crucial to making sure that you don't shank off the court.
The defense by JBU has been outstanding. There's a tip. Net violation.
Number 3, Derian.
Smith will take a seat, as will Criddle. Becca Dollar back into serve, and you see the Lady Lions will come out of a stack. You just got to hang in there and win these long points and hope for some mistakes on their end, and just, like you said, cut down your mistakes, and things can change in a hurry. There's a mistake right there. Dollar unable to get that to the front row, although she was on the defense trying to even pull it out, but either way, the ball just not in good position for the front row.
It's a great defensive effort by Dollar, but we got to make sure to get the ball high enough to keep it in play to run an offense.
Exactly. Here comes Stacy Williamson with the serve. Calverley. Essentially a free ball from Hardin. Abbott, Calverley. Sodich near the net, trickles on the net and falls down on the Golden Eagles side. Cox will come back in for Kirk. So you got Faith Hardin, Cox, and Abbott up front. It's go time now if you're the Lady Lions, and a nice court vision and awareness. I think that was Tiffany Honeycutt again. It was. She just tipped it over. It looks like 3 defenders on that one.
Right, and if you'll notice also on the front row for the Lady Lions, we've got Cassie on that play. Just before this, we had her blocking on the right side to go against Derian, number 3 for the JBU, trying to get a big enough block to block her hits because she's on fire right now for the Golden Eagles.
Derian. That penetration was there that time.
Right.
Nice tight wall right there by the net. So the net's allowed to touch the hand if the ball pushes the net towards the hand. That's not a net violation.
Right. The only way they'll call a net violation if his initial contact is made by the hands to the net.
There's another one. Point out Lady Lions. 17-8, so the deficit is still 9. It was 10 moments ago when it was 12-2. So the Lions trying to just stay alive before they run out of time here. As the Golden Eagles are just 8 points away from winning this match. And there it is again, right over the defense with the tip. Becky Young will slip out for John Brown. Here's Deary, and she's played a great match. Calverley, slide over to Cox. Didn't hit anybody. It did sail just out of bounds. Looked like it may have hit some of the back row, but it missed everybody. And it missed the inbounds by about 3 inches. So now you're at 18-8, back to that 10-point lead. Cox tries a tip. Now, what do you call that play? That looked like me hitting the ball, just kind of pushing it. Legal move, but you don't see it very often.
Right, when you're in a desperate situation like that, when the ball isn't going to be hard enough to block, but you also don't want to set it up because you see a hole, that's a quick play decision made by Cox to just send it right back over. Not the prettiest, but it definitely works.
Deep. That ball would have been out of bounds, but instead, Darian chose to go for it, and her body was way out of bounds. No chance to bring that back in.
Great play right there. A deep push to that back corner. Almost impossible to get to if your defense is sucked in too far.
Out of bounds. Now you've got a good server in the back row now. You've got Emily Smith. She can place them. 19-11. She loves that cross corner in the middle. And it goes out of bounds. And now the crowd begins to surge back to life here as the Lions have rattled off 3 in a row.
It's a fight for each point. Momentum can really go either way.
Should be an easy play. Who wants it? Nice play from Calverley. It's going to be Cox with the tip, deep tip, safety. And it's inbounds, and it was Tobolka decided to let that one fly, and it landed right in the back right corner.
Now that shot is coupled with a couple of things for the Lady Lions, that the block was set a little too far outside, causing the ball to go deep corner, but the defense, Tobolka, was also sucked far into the court, which either way, maybe if she would have been a little further back or the block a little further in, we could have stopped it.
And that set was way behind Cox, unable to really wind and fire. 21-12, back to a 9-point lead. So not much has happened since it was a 12-2 timeout called. Cox crushes that one. She'll take a quick seat. In comes Sodich and Criddle. Kirk back set to serve, trying to keep Lady Lions squad alive. Down by 8, set number 4 against a surging Golden Eagle team that looked really flat in the first set and just came to life in that second. Dominated the third and now the fourth as well. Here's Bake. Got to communicate out there. Ends up being a free ball for the Golden Eagles.
Great defense by Kirk.
Now she'll send it. Oh, how about that? Alyssa Kirk. First the great defense, then the offense. Pulls the Lions within 7. Look at this. If we can see the replay here before the next point arrives, we just might. First the defense, and now the offense from the back row. Coming up with this play right here. There it is. Defense, now offense. She sets up, winds and fires. Great hustle from Kirk. There she is again, playing good defense. And now, Sodich with a power kill. And now JBU talking it over, 21-15.
Oftentimes all it takes, Rob, is one player on the court deciding that they're going to change momentum, and Kirk seems to be that for the Lady Lions right now.
And a timeout on the court. JBU wants to talk it over. As you see here, this previous point here on your screen, it was Sodich just winds and fires. Libero, no chance to pull that one out of the ground. And that results in a TO from Coach Johnson, as the Lady Lions aren't giving up yet. 21-15.
Now, JBU really hasn't made too many mistakes to constitute a timeout, but I believe what the coach is doing here is attempting to stop the momentum that the Lady Lions have gotten from these past several plays.
She's number 12 in the nation with more than 4 kills a game. She's been the hitter of the week in back-to-back weeks. That's Jessica Sodich. And her and the play of Alyssa Kirk have inspired the Lady Lions to hang in there. And a few more points here, then you're back to a good match. You get down to about 18-19, you're right back in it. Oh! Miscommunication. You said it all match long, and now JBU caught off guard.
If you take a second, even a second, just to hesitate, just like Darian just did, then the ball can hit the ground and it's too late to pick it back up.
21-16. Oh, look at that back set. Oh, but the Golden Eagles snuff it out. But talk about that play from Criddle.
That was a quick decision. She felt like she wasn't going to be able to get the set, so she went ahead and pushed it back over. She was facing, her back was facing the net, so she wasn't able to look, but even just that quick second play over can mess up the defense.
Every point now critical at this point in the match. If you're the Lions, cannot afford to give up any more. It's going to sail out of bounds. The Lions are alive here at the Schaefer Center, 22-17, and the crowd now getting into it on their feet in the jungle. Encouraging the ladies to hang tough. Coach Hank Moore at his feet. He believes. Here comes Calverley. Bake's going to send it way wide, 10 feet deep. Is it nerves now if you're JBU?
Right, it's realizing that the game is now just as equally belonging to the Lady Lions as it is the Golden Eagles. If
they could come back and win this set, then all the momentum will be right back in the Lions' favor. You talk about momentum, and that fifth set, there's another point for the Lady Lions, and momentum has clearly shifted now. It almost pays to win that fourth set when you're down 2-1 because you have all the momentum going into the fifth set.
Right, this set has been a prime example of how often it can switch, and in this replay you'll see how the defense is struggling to get anything up that Sodich is firing away.
Sodich there to handle that one. Little tip. JBU will reload. It's going to be just wide. It was real close. Wow, that may have missed it by an inch, but it was out. 22-20, set number 4. And is Calverley trying to call a timeout? I'm unclear what's happening here.
She thought that the JBU called a timeout. She threw the ball to the line judge when really it was just a player needing to clean up sweat on the other side of the court.
So it's not counted as a serve because he threw it to the line judge. It has to be an intentional physical move toward a serve. So no harm, no foul there. 22-20. Alyssa Kirk, credit her about 8 points ago. Just owning that point.
I think she was the main player that really came in and shifted momentum for the Lady Lions.
Now JBU all out of sorts here. Sodich sends it wide, but now great defensive effort from Calverley, unable to pull up with it though, and it's going to be JBU up 23-20. They just need 2 more to close it out as the Lions have clawed back to make it interesting. Here's Becca Young, and just a mental error from Smith. Can't believe it. Not a hard serve there. And now we've reached match point, 24-20. The Lions will have to win 4 straight to be able to give up 1 extra point to stay alive. They've gotten 4 straight a few moments ago, so it could happen. Becky Young will put the ball in play. Can make no mistakes now. If you're the Lady Lions, could be a free ball. They need to take advantage of this. Calverley to Sodic. Looks like may have been a bit of a miss hit, but its ball stays in play, and a whistle. Double contact is the call. 24-21. The senior, Becca Dollar, set to serve. Nice high ball, no mistakes here. Rejected, I think that was Abbott, got a piece of that one. And again, Abbott and Harden there to send it back. 24-22, could it be? A miraculous Lions comeback. They were down 12-2. Early in the 4th set. Calverley to Sodic. Near the net. Got to keep it alive. Sodic. Oh, and it sails just wide. And the match goes to John Brown on a furious comeback rally that falls just short. John Brown comes away with a 4-set victory here at the Schaefer Center. Your final score in the 4th set, 25-22. Woo! After the Lions found themselves down early, showed a lot of character to make it a game, but in the end, John Brown will now improve their record to 2-2 in conference. The Lady Lions will fall to 3-2. As you see, both teams now gather for a word of prayer around the court here. John Brown, love that class, just holding hands with the other team. You know, it's all about a more important mission here. As you see, Coach Hank Moore talked to both teams about what it's all about. And there's your final. You see the score, 19-25, and then 25-23, 25-18, 25-22. Talk about how John Brown was able to come back, being down 1-0.
It's all a mental decision by their team in that 2nd set. You see the Lady Lions were really close in the score, a 2-point difference, but they were able to come away because they had made up in their minds that they were going to fight for each point.
We'll be back with final thoughts here from the Schaefer Center. Your final score, again, 3-1. We'll be right back here. You're watching SAGU Sports Live on the SAGU Sports Network. 2 seconds. And welcome back to the Schaefer Center. The Lady Lions drop a tough one in 4 sets, had a 1-0 set lead. And in this run of matches this week, Devin, we've played 4 matches in 5 days. The Lions only able to come away with 1 win against St. Thomas, which was formerly in a conference in the Red River, now no longer a conference. They did drop, the Lions did 2 conference games this week. Oklahoma Baptist, who just beat Wayland Baptist a few hours ago, and then losing today, of course, to John Brown University. You see the conference standings there. So SAGU updated as of right now. SAGU is 3-2 in conference play, drops to 10-7 overall. Lions, John Brown improves to 2-2, and 8-13 doesn't really matter because all that matters at this point are the conference standings.
Right, and it seemed in this game, SAGU versus John Brown, that more so than being physically tired, it seemed to be more mental for the Lady Lions today. And as we talked about throughout the game, where their legs being tired from playing so many games, it seemed that the mental ability to turn the game around momentum-wise just wasn't as much there today as it could have been.
That may have actually been a factor for the Lady Lions, unable to pull away with this. This is their 4th game in 5 days. So as it stands, we're still alive. We're still in the top tier, the top half of the standings in their new conference. So we'll see how things pan out. Upcoming on SAGU.TV, on radio, audio, you can hear our very own Mark Ward call the game for you. Texas Lutheran Bulldogs hosting the SAGU Lions. Kickoff is tonight at 6 p.m. in just a couple of hours. SAGU.TV, I'll get you the live audio stream for that as well. And you see our next volleyball match against the Wayland Pioneers, Wayland Baptist Pioneers, October 5th, 11 a.m. right here on SAGU.TV. Final thoughts, Devin, on this match? Looking ahead, how do they regroup or rest from this this busy week? And I guess rest is all they need right now, correct?
Right. I think going along with what I said about being tired mentally and physically, it's more of a decision rather than playing harder.
Well, on behalf of my partner, Devin Gwines, John Cookman, our director, and our amazing student crew, this is Rob Price saying thanks for watching. You have been watching the SAGU Sports Network here on SAGU.TV. Come back at 6 o'clock if you want to hear the football game, the call from Mark Ward out there at Texas Lutheran. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace.